One of the keys to practicing more effectively is to have an organized practice schedule. I get overwhelmed with my to-do list a lot, and when I have so much to do and it's not organized, I almost try to avoid getting started because I don't know what to work on. I don't know where to start. And when I'm actually practicing or doing other kinds of work and thoughts pop into my brain like, oh no, I forgot to do this. Oh no, I forgot to do that. Then it causes me to transition activities. I don't get the first thing that I was working on done, and I also lost time on the second thing that I switched to. This is both a problem during normal times when you're busy, you have lots of deadlines, lessons, first rehearsals, recitals, auditions, and you have to figure out what to practice every day so that you can be prepared for each deadline along the way. But it's also a problem now during coronapause because we all have these ideas of projects swimming around our brains, and until we actually get those ideas out and put them in a calendar, we're not going to actually be effective in getting started. So today I want to show you how to create a practice schedule for yourself during coronapause so that you can use this time we have as effectively as possible. And best of all, you'll have created a system for yourself to organize your practice, maintain a practice schedule, and not feel overwhelmed when the deadlines start popping up and you have to start learning a bunch of new repertoire again for lessons and recitals and whatever. And by the way, if you waste a little bit of time in the practice room one day, that's just a little bit of productivity that you didn't get done that day. But if you multiply that over days and weeks and months and years, that's going to lead to real impacts in your ultimate skill level as a musician. So this is a little training about creating your practice schedule. It's a little taste of a much more in-depth training course on how to organize your practice that I'm releasing today. If this little training about creating a practice schedule is useful for you and you feel like you want to go a lot deeper and create a system for yourself to manage your repertoire, manage your daily practice session, and keep it all on track, then you should go check out the in-depth, step-by-step course that we're releasing today called Organize Your Practice. You can check that out at robknopper.com/organize-your-practice. So I'll walk you through this simple 6-step process to create your practice schedule. The first step is to choose a place to house your practice schedule. By that I mean, are you going to use paper and pencil? Are you going to use a planner? Are you going to use Evernote or a Word document on your computer, or maybe iCal or one of the other apps that you can use to schedule and manage projects? You just need 2 parts to it. One part to organize and write out your to-do lists, and another part that's the actual calendar that you're going to use every day when you look at what you have to do that day. For me, I'm going to use Post-it notes and the wall. So over here, I'm going to write out my to-do lists and my projects, and over here is obviously my calendar where I'll write out which day I'm going to do which to-do. Step 2 is to write out your projects. First, I have to learn the Bach fugue and G minor for my lesson on this day in 3 weeks. Second is that on this day, my first rehearsal for Mahler Symphony No. 2 is happening, so I have to have that learned by here. And third is that at the end of this calendar, I have to turn in my audition tape for the New York Phil timpani audition. These are made up. It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to do here is show you how I would organize this schedule. Step 3 is to write out a complete to-do list. So for each of these separate projects, there's a list of things that I know I need to do in order to be ready before the deadline of each of those projects. So for instance, for the Bach fugue, I have to go through my normal note learning process. For Mahler 5, I'm going to follow the normal process I use to prepare for a first rehearsal. I talk about that in a different video, which you can go check out here. And for my New York Phil tape, I have a special process that I go through to prepare for an audition tape, which includes researching excerpts, doing my normal note learning process, self-recording one excerpt at a time, and then setting aside a number of days to do the recording itself. Step 4 is to write out your practice sessions. Now, you don't know that each of these practice sessions is actually going to be available, but right now you're just predicting when you're going to be able to practice. This is important because obviously the amount of time you have each day to practice is going to decide how much of your to-dos you're going to be able to do each day. A couple tips here. Don't make your practice session as absolutely maximum as possible from the minute you stop something else until the minute you fall asleep. You're going to end up having to have buffer time. So it's important to factor that in now so that you don't run out of time later on. All right, once you've written out all of your available practice sessions, step 5 is to start sorting your work into days. Now, a couple rules of thumb to keep in mind here. First of all, it's good to front load your work. If you try to give yourself more work early on and have less work later on, then it's more acceptable to fall behind a little bit because you have some leeway and you can trade those to-dos to later dates if you need to. Another thing is, if you can, give yourself at least one off day a week. If you get ambitious and you give yourself the maximum amount of work you can do based on that practice session, it's likely that you won't get everything done. And that's a recipe for having to redo your schedule. You're probably going to have to redo your schedule as you go anyway, but if you can try to underschedule yourself if possible, then you should do that. All right, so I am done making my practice calendar, and as you can see, it's beautiful. Finally, step 6 is easy. It's just 2 parts. 1, do your assigned task for that day, and 2, review and update your schedule every day. Because you spent this time thinking through your practice schedule carefully, you don't have to worry about getting everything done. Everything is going to get done by the deadline because you planned it out. And it also motivates you to do that one task today, because if you don't do it today, you know that tomorrow is for another task, so today it really is urgent to get that one done. If you're ready to build better practice systems so that you can get more done in the practice room, solve more problems in your repertoire, and achieve a higher level as a musician faster, then you might be interested in checking out our new course called Organize Your Practice. It's a 4-module, step-by-step course that walks you through how to incorporate my practice system into your life. It includes a set of detailed step-by-step worksheets, calendars, and templates so that you can get this practice system up and going right away. It includes 5 long-form interviews with professional musicians on how they organize your practice so that you can utilize some of their concepts and do structured trial and error into your own practice system to see if they work better for you. And I'm also starting the Organize Your Practice Club. This is a place where we're all going to get together to talk about organizing our practice. It's going to include a Facebook group where you can collaborate with other musicians on how they're organizing their practice. I'm going to be hosting the Organize Your Practice Club for the entire length of this Corona pause, up to 3 months, including hosting these live sessions, being active in the Facebook group, and helping you figure out your own best practice system. If you want to be involved in the Organize Your Practice Club, you have to enroll in the Organize Your Practice course by this Sunday at midnight. Again, the website is robknopper.com/organize-your-practice. All right, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up below, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.